Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Lopez here, and just wanted to welcome y'all to this new episode of the On the Gun Line podcast. It's a shoot the shit Saturday episode recorded on a Friday. So today I'll be having a guest. His name is Jared Eagle Bull, and was one of the soldiers that I served with when we were in Fort Carson back in 277 FA, and we'll get to know him some and hear his story. I know that he is a Lakota Sioux, and he comes from the Pine Ridge, I believe it's called, reservation. So it's definitely going to be a great talk with him and discussion. Get to know him, his time in service, and see where it goes from there, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here with me. It is now 1:36 p.m. on a beautiful Friday. And let me tell y'all, it's been a hell of a fucking week, y'all. I do appreciate those of y'all that did watch the fucking and listen to the podcast for the midweek memo. I, for some reason, this last episode got more views in one day than my last two did in 2 weeks. And it's not a lot. I'm just saying that I think it probably has to do with the content that I've been saying and motherfuckers getting tired of the same shit. I don't know. I can only go off the feedback y'all provide me, y'all. So if y'all can provide me feedback, what you want me to hear about, what you want me to talk about in the midweek, I'd like to keep it more light, and fucking entertaining versus the shoot the shit weekends where we get to know somebody, hear their story, hear their struggles. You know what I'm saying? Just basically like shooting the shit back on the gun line. But yeah, dude. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all want to hear about. But with that said, how about those fucking Packers last night? Yo, those Cardinals, I ain't gonna lie, man, that defense was looking pretty motherfucking tight, y'all. And if it wasn't for that last minute motherfucking interception, I don't know how that would have ended. But dude, it really had me on the edge of my fucking seat, man. And if you look at my wall of shit that I'm supposed to have, it looks like crap back there if you're on the YouTubes. But you see, Coach Lombardi is right, y'all. All right, he's right there. He's always with me. My niece gave me that many, many, many years ago. I can't even fucking remember how long it's been. Shit, at least 16 years ago, maybe, that she gave me that. But anyways, what's good with everybody out in the world today? Fucking, I don't watch the news, so I have no idea. I'm not up to current events. I know we talked about Alec Baldwin earlier in the week. And for this midweek memo that's coming up, we're going to be discussing a topic that I know I've hit on before, but it came up again today. And one of the show's OG subs, I guess you could say, one of the OG listeners, Frank Felice, he had a rant today regarding fucking promotions. And dude, I can't disagree with him. E7's getting that automatic bronze star for just showing up to work versus that PFC who's out there ground pounding, that E1 through E4 who's fucking taking bullets and, in the shit. They end up getting that fucking bronze star. I mean, they end up getting a motherfucking, what's that shit called? RCOM. Well, it looks like Eagle Bull is on. So he's coming on right now. And so he'll be here in a few minutes. So yeah, be right back. It'll be about a 2-second pause for y'all. Gunline. We got a fire mission coming down. And as I was saying earlier, we got our guest here, Jared Eagle Bull. We served together in 277 out of Fort Carson, Colorado, and been trying to actually schedule him in for quite some time now. And I'm happy that he was able to make it on time and we're able to flex here because I got to go pick my kids up. So without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Hey guys, Jared Eagle, Danny here introduced me. I was in 277 from 2010 till 2019. Served. Yeah, I was there for a hot minute in Fort Carson. was in Black Sheep, and I was in Charlie Battery, and then yeah, just pretty much those two places pretty much was it.
Right on, dude. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Pioneer, South Dakota, originally.
And that's a res, right?
Yeah.
I remember you were showing it to me, and I was talking to you about it because it's like really one of the most, I don't want to say run down, but doesn't get a lot of support on that res, right? Not much to do there.
Not a really is anything pretty much. I mean, like it's pretty like in the middle of nowhere, middle of well, I wouldn't say in the middle of South Dakota. It's kind of like on the southwestern side of South Dakota, like kind of down in the corner. So we gotta get forgotten about quite a bit. So, and it is kind of middle of nowhere in between like Nebraska and stuff. So I mean, to get there, it's like, geez, from Colorado, I think it used to take me like about 6.5 hours to travel home.
Damn. So what made you end up joining the Army?
Went to college did that for about 3 months. Decided, hey, this ain't for me. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and drop out of college. Kind of went about 3-4 months there. Wasn't doing anything, kind of just like hanging out. And finally, I was just like, all right, I gotta do something. I gotta get out of here because I don't want to be just another statistic or out of here.
Right.
That kid that went off to college for so long came back and just kind of dropped out and do it no more.
No shit, dude.
So yeah, pretty much. I was just kind of like my last ditch effort was to either try to get a job there, which is, I mean, there ain't really much jobs there, especially for 18-year-old straight out of high school.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just kind of like, oh well, I'm gonna go ahead and try this thing out. Hopefully it works. And there it went.
Well, so do you have any military in your family as it is? Like anybody served in the military prior to you?
So I had an uncle, like I had 2 uncles that were pretty close and closely related to me. Like they were my grandma's brother's kids. Okay. Or my grandpa, one was my grandma's brother and one was my her brother's son. And I didn't know, like when I actually joined, when I got in there, probably like a year later, I found out, geez, I have so much family that was in the military. I was like, it was kind of like I was astonished. I was like, man, like had one of my family members that was my great grandpa. He was a lieutenant in the Army.
Oh no shit!
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wow.
And yeah, and then as I like kind of start getting in there, digging in there more, man, like I had so much people in the military that were in my family, and they didn't serve long. Most of them were like Vietnam and stuff like that. So
shit. That's what's up, dude. So I mean, there was heritage there within the military that they just probably didn't talk about it very much because back in the day, folks did their time, got out, and just continued life and shit. And so, dude.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Like I didn't really ask him. I know one of my uncles. My uncle was my grandma's brother's son. He was my uncle. His name Larry Eagle. But yeah, that's where this tattoo originated from. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like I don't know if I can show it, but it's like an eagle and a bull.
Right on.
Yeah, he was the first one to get that, and he was always like preaching. He was like one of the main people, like kind of tell me like, get your butt off the couch. You better do something. Every time I saw him, like, what are you doing today? Did you get a job? You go back to college, all this other stuff. So he was kind of like pushing me. Then after a while, I was like, man, like, push comes to shove, might as well just get out of here.
Yeah, dude. Fucking. So tell me about your experience with the recruiter when you first went there. Like, was it something quick and you knew what you wanted to do, or how did they get you to be a 13 Bravo?
So my cousin, he had enlisted like maybe like a month before. Like he had like already went to MEPS, everything's all done. When he introduced me to his recruiter, and he was like, hey man, if you're really interested, hit this guy up, he'll get you going in the right direction, and then stuff. So I remember I took the practice ASVAB one afternoon, and it was like middle of winter.
Yeah,
he came down from the city to the res, and then he kind of, I took the ASVAB. I passed it that day, that practice one. Immediately that day, he was like, hey man, can you get this dude in like now to take this ASVAB? He's like, he's gonna have to wait till next week because wait till next week because like we only have an hour, and it's like an hour and a half drive from there to the city where I'm at now. So it was kind of like, he'd be speeding, trying to get me up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was straight up honest with me. Like he's like, hey man, it's gonna suck. He's like, I'm gonna sugarcoat it. I was like, well, that's good, but at least you're telling me. Right. And then whenever I went to I passed ASVAB, went to go pick my job, and I had like quite a bit of lists. He's like, "You want to be cook?" I was like, "Nope." He's like, "You want to wash clothes?" I was like, "Nope." He's like, "All right, you don't know quartermaster?" I was like, "No." I was like, "It sounds cool, but I was like, no, I'm good." He's like, "Hold on." So he's like, "You like outdoors?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You like camping?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Here, watch this video." And then he showed me a video of a 119er shooting. I was like, "That's pretty cool." He's like, "Would you like that?" I was like, "I mean, I wouldn't mind." He's like, "All right." Start typing away, he's putting in the code or whatever. He's like, 13 Bravo it is. I was like, "Oh, all right."
God damn. Fucking video, man. It gets everybody,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, it looked cool. I was like,
For real, dude. And so you went to basic training. Did you go to Fort Sill or where did you go?
Yeah. I went to Sill.
Okay.
I mean, it was pretty nice to be actually. I didn't mind the weather down there. It kind of reminded me of like up here, because when I went, it was like, what was bad was like my base date was October 5th. So every time I came around for time me re-enlisting,
Yeah.
like I'd have, like the fiscal year starts on the 5th.
Right.
So like everything just automatically was gone that day, and I had to wait like like a couple days later. I'm like, oh man. But I mean, I kind of lucked out there. I got to stay in Carson for as long as I did.
Yeah, you did. You were there for a hot minute, because I got to Carson in 2011 and I left there in 2015 when I retired. But I mean, that was the only duty station you went to outside of basic training in AIT, right?
Oh no, I finished off my service in Fort Riley.
Oh damn, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I got those orders, it was pretty hilarious.
But so tell me about was basic what you thought it was going to be? I mean, did you have any idea what it was going to be like in basic on AIT?
I kind of like had like because my cousin, like I said, he was a month ahead of me, so like he came back on his H strap. So when he came back between AIT and basic, he was just like told me, hey dude, like I was just down in Sill. He's like, it's getting colder. He's like tell me what I could expect. He's like me, when you get there that night, man, you're not gonna get any sleep. So I was like, well, I was expecting like, get my ass kicked the first few days or wherever how it's gonna be. I remember like the first 4 days, but I was like, that first day, I remember went down there, went to my barracks, got there. I got to Fort Sill, got the bus, started getting immediately yelled at, move your asses, get inside here, fill out all this paperwork. And I was already tired at the point. It was like about 10:30 at night.
God damn.
So I was like, then there's like, we got done like at 3 a.m, and it was like, all right, hey, go to sleep at 5:30. Everyone has to be out here lined up, ready to go, and you're civilians. So he's like, because we're gonna go across the road and we're gonna get you fitted for your PTs and everything.
Right.
So it was that first day. I was just sitting there like, head bobbing. I was like trying not to fall asleep. It was a struggle. So it wasn't. I mean, after a while, I kind of just got used to it. I was like, told myself like, hey, like my cousin said, he's like, hey, stick to yourself, do what you gotta do. He's like, don't make yourself a target.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, just kind of just do. He's like, it's kind of like jail. Just do your time and get out.
Pretty much, dude. I mean, what's funny is though, like for me, I didn't know that there was a reception. And then there was basic training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I first got to reception at the 95th in Fort Sill, I thought that was basic training. I was like, man, this shit is fucking easy. I thought it was gonna be like hard.
Good 95th. Like the only thing you had to do is just stand in line and kind of just do admin work and get all your shots. And stuff. I'm like, oh man, this would be easy. Then they're like, hey guys, go across the tracks tomorrow. I'm like, wait, what the hell's across the tracks? So like,
that's where the real shit starts.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you'll see them when we pull up, and we're sitting there, seeing the cattle trucks roll up and shit, and like everyone start getting yelled at, people slamming into each other.
Dude, what was the worst experience you think you had in basic that you can remember?
I remember one day we had this, like one of the kids thought it, like the drill sergeants put him up to it, thought it'd be a joke to steal someone else's guide on, and so like us thinking it was like funny and stuff. Like the drill sergeant knew it was gonna be hilarious as shit, because thinking like, oh, we're gonna fuck these guys up, because they were like on their last couple, where like it was probably like 8 weeks to being complete, or not even 8 weeks. I would probably like say like 6 weeks to being complete.
Yeah.
And like, so it's like, we have our big FTX coming up like 2 weeks or whatever, all this stuff. And I remember that kid stole a guide on, and like one like was getting fucking shit smoked out. I don't think we even got out of red phase to like, jeez, man, like towards like last 2 weeks, I want to say.
How do you get caught stealing the guide on though?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. All I know is like the other fucking drill sergeants came in our bay and started smoking the dog shit out of us, all this other stuff. And then I remember this kid, like, I still talked to this dude today. His name's my buddy, one of my buddies. I didn't say his name, but yeah, dude, I'm like smoking this kid. Like they threw, like I don't know what that was going on. I remember just sitting there and I seen a blanket over his kid's head. And boom, this dude, he's like bigger than me. He's like way bigger than me. And the dude like laid him the fuck out. I thought the dude killed him.
Damn.
And I'm like, yeah. So like we go downstairs and this kid's standing there like fucking crying and shit, like holding his face, and like you can see like where he got punched.
Yeah.
And that day was just fucking horrible, man. Like, you know, standing in front of first sergeant, he screamed out like, "Hey, did you do it? Did you do it?" I was like, "Yeah, I got no reason to punch no dude here, man. Like, right. It was assault."
For real, man. Like,
catch like, where I come from, man. You already know you're going to jail for that shit.
Fucking
so, yeah, like that day was just a real long like day from being up like at 5:30 in the morning, going like all the way past like we barely got lunch and we barely got dinner because we was just getting fucking smoked, man. Like getting yelled at, like. I was like, you guys are all part of this. You guys seen this? And I was like, man, I ain't saying shit. Like, I'll just go ahead and take my fucking punishment, dude. I know I didn't do anything, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right. You do. You know, we had when I was in basic, we had OSUT. When we were in OSUT, we had the most Article 15s, I think, done in one day. And it was Delta Battery 122 back then. Dude, we had the whole battery downstairs because motherfuckers got caught fucking, you know, selling dip, selling sodas. Like motherfuckers would go and get that shit from the PX that was down the street from the batteries, and then they would come and slang that shit. And then we had one dude, man, he just narked everybody the fuck out, bro. Like this person, that person, that person. Like, damn, dog, you did us like that. I still remember this dude. I don't know if he's still in, and I'm not gonna say his name just in case he's still in. But you know what you did, bro. All I know is he went to the 82nd afterwards, so he's out there in Bragg. I don't know if he's out by now, but yeah, dude, fucking snitches, man. So yeah, you finally finished that shit. You graduated, and now was Fort Carson on the list of where the places you wanted to go to?
So we got to AIT. I remember like we got there like the first couple of days, good old Delta. I want to say like once I can't remember 179. I can't remember the you know the AIT place.
Right.
I can't remember it. They're discontinued. Like they shut down that battery like, you know, like 2 cycles after I got done, or Damn. 2 or 3, I want to say.
Do you remember who your platoon sergeant was there?
His name's Eve Turner.
Okay.
And then I can't remember the other one. There was a few of them. I remember one dude, man, is Master Sergeant. He's called him fucking Master Sergeant Jackson. That dude was a Senior Jackson. That dude was a fucking crazy ass boy, man. Like I was like, man, this is how artillery's gonna be. Like this dude like walk around, gold teeth up, like yelling around, like, you know, it's hilarious because like that dude, like I'm pretty sure put the fear of God in people. Like you could know when he's coming to, because he was walking like crazy and shit by himself, singing cadence by himself. Yeah, I was like, damn, something wrong with this guy, man. But I mean, he was cool though. Like, you know, like we got to actually know him and stuff. He's just like, hey man, he's like, I'm here to mold you guys into young fine artillerymen.
Hell yeah,
all this stuff. Yeah, but
was there a nativity out there by any chance? You would have remembered that name. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, dude, go ahead, man. Tell me about the AIT experiences.
So like Carson was initially like I put down. I was like, all right, I want to be kind of close to home. So like if I go home for leave and stuff, you know, I put Carson, I put Riley, I put Fort Lewis.
Okay.
And then like, you know, my CONUS and my OCONUS, I put Hawaii, Alaska, and I put Germany.
Right.
And I was like, you know, all right, there's my 3 wish lists. And like everyone's like, man, if you get he's like, man, I want to go Fort Carson. Or everyone's like, I want to go Fort Lewis. People are like, oh well, I don't want to go to, you know, Fort Drum, blah blah blah. And then like they start reading out the list, and there was like 5 of us they didn't name off, and they're like, oh shit, hold on real quick. Went in the office, hey, you guys are going to Fort Sill or Fort Carson.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit. And everyone's like, hey, man, Twitch me. I was like, I mean, I don't know if you can do that, but I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna fucking do that shit. I'm gonna go to Fort Carson, man. Like, get out of here. Yeah. So I mean, which is crazy though. Like, I didn't know like later on down the road, like that, like whole wish list thing actually, like, you know, like that stays with you. Like whenever you like re-enlist and everything last year, your top options always pop up. I think.
Really?
I don't know. That's just a rumor what I heard, but like every time I re-enlisted, I had Lewis, Carson, and Fort Riley every single time. So I was like, man, and those places are hard. Like Lewis is hard to get, like, and Carson, like that's like you get in a fraternity in Carson, someone's got to like pass away or get kicked out for you to come down that place.
Yeah, no shit. Like for me, dude, my first duty station was Fort Hood. And, you know, I don't know how it was for you when you first arrived to the unit, but I know when I first got out of basic and got to the unit, they were like, yeah, you're once you get to your unit, your battles will take care of you. So when I'm thinking, I hear they're gonna take care of me, I'm thinking they're gonna whoop my ass, bro. I had no idea what it was gonna be like. I was scared shitless when I got there. And I'm a grown fucking man at this time. I'm 27 years old. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be getting down. I'm thinking it's gonna be like jail, bro. But
Yeah.
so what were your expectations when you got to Carson? Like, what were you thinking was gonna be?
Whenever like like I said, my platoon sergeant Turner, like he was E5, but he was at Carson. He was telling me like, hey man, you're gonna love it there. Like the post is nice, the area is really nice. Like everything you can think of is there. It's a big place. Like, yeah, but don't go be fucking around on B Street.
Fucking
all
B.
this other stuff. And I was like, man, I was like, all right. So yeah, like get through AIT, everything's easy. It's like it wasn't that hard. I mean, I thought AIT was more fun than anything because we got to go out on the weekends. I don't know like how you guys were, but
Nah.
yeah, hey man, if you scored over, like I think there's like, hey, if you pass your PT test or if you score over a certain amount, like you get to go Friday, sign your count statement, go all the way to Sunday. Or in 4-day weekends, you leave on like Thursday and then go all the way to Monday.
Yeah, we didn't have that, bro. We had OSA, which is one station unit training. Basic and AIT were combined. So we had drill sergeants from day one till graduation day. There was nothing in between, bro.
I remember like talking to some people, like when I got to Fort Carson to 277, they're like, how's the IT? I was like, oh, did you guys even like go out or anything like that? And I was like, yeah, like I went out every weekend, like went to casino, did all I did everything, I was going to the bars. It was like, yeah. I just turned 21, like as soon as I like, she's like, well, I did. Well, I mean, I did, of course, like everyone drinks and like, whatever, you get the opportunity, you did it before. We'll go to hotels and shit, have fun and whatever. They're like, hey man, don't we come back here on like 50, so you had till 1500 that day before, they're supposed to report back in.
Okay.
You have to have your head shaved, like down to no guard, nothing. Like, and they're like, we'll know, like you could tell whenever someone didn't shave their head because like come Friday, that shit looked like a fucking, like you didn't stand out. Like, you stand out pretty fucking easy.
Yep.
Like, but yeah, like that was the only rule. Like you have to have head shave, be in formation, all this other stuff accounted for. But I mean, but when I got to 277, like I remember going to reception, and I was like, man, this shit like looks nice. And reception was pretty easy. All we did is just like go kind of in process, and like everyone's like, oh, you do PT tests here, blah blah. And they're like, well, we ain't gonna kill you guys this time because we got a lot of stuff going. So they were transitioning out like leadership.
Okay.
For reception. So like I remember when I got to 277, it was a Friday. Okay. It was like, it was kind of late. I think whenever they picked us up, it was probably like 1600. And when we got to the battery, I didn't know it was just right down the road.
Okay.
Or else I would just walk my ass there. And like I remember they pulled up, and I remember we pulled up and they had our bags there, and they're like, we were going inside the building, and I remember getting our paperwork, and I ran to Sergeant Jumbo and Smoke Hansen for the first time, or Sergeant Hansen, and they're like, Eagle Bull. He's like, where you from? I was like, South Dakota. And they're like, which part? And then Pine Ridge, and Sergeant Jumbo was like, Wine Ridge? I was like, this motherfucker. And I was like, yeah, man. And then Smoke Hansen, all right. He's like, I know where that's at. He's like, I'm from Wisconsin. I was like, oh, cool. Hey, thanks, Sergeant. He's like, yeah. He's like, y'all have fun there with Sergeant Major. And like we go in this room, fucking Sergeant Major, good old fucking Sergeant Major Mendoza, dude. Like this dude had, that dude had a look that was scared the shit out of you, dude. Like the first moment I saw him, he's like, man, y'all some lazy motherfuckers. We're just right down the road. He's like, y'all could have walked your ass down here with your bags. So I'm like, I didn't know, man. I thought I was gonna go way across post.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, got there and it wasn't too bad. He kind of just gave us a rundown. I remember that Friday though, we got picked up. He's like, enjoy y'all's weekend. Who's all 21? He's like, me and like a couple of other people raised their hands, and he's like, all right. He's like, if I was you guys, I'd go enjoy the night because starting tomorrow is, table fucking certification. Like we're going out to the field, man. Like you're gonna be out, your ass gonna be out there. Like it was a 2-week field problem. Like Friday I got there, is like Monday we're going out for 2 weeks. So get your snacks, talk to your chief, whatever. So like that Saturday, all I did was just fucking had like a 6-pack trying to pull all my shit together, and I was like packed up, went to the field for 2 weeks.
When did you get there? What day was it? Or like what year?
It was, I want to say February 2010. February 2010 was kind of like middle of February 2010. It was like towards the end of February.
So you got there before I got there then?
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure. Like I didn't know anyone, man. Like as soon as I got, the only people I knew was in Bravo Battery. Like that's the only people I knew for like a solid month because it was out in the field for fucking ever, man. It felt like,
I know when I got there in February of 2011. So who was your first sergeant when you got there?
First sergeant. So first sergeant Long had literally just left like that week prior before. So
Okay.
when I got at first sergeant Admiral took over like that week. Like when I got there, like first sergeant, like within the first few weeks, like first sergeant Long and first sergeant Admiral were like they were like changing responsibility and stuff.
Dude, so because I came in with Amaral.
Oh, so you in process with them then?
Yeah, we in process together, me and Amaral. So, and that was in February. So you had, damn, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
remember
like
there was a Smoke Trujillo, I think was the one that was like the acting first sergeant.
yeah. So like when I got there, like he got moved and all kinds of stuff. I remember like when I got there, like a lot of people were leaving, getting ready to leave and stuff. So like there's like a field, like those field problems at, like there was like people taking over gunny spots, platoon sergeant spots. People were just moving around all over the place. So
who was
like
your first section chief?
Staff Sergeant Jewel was my first section. Yeah, man. Like I was cool with them for a while, man. But then again, I started doing like hang out around crowd, started doing like a lot of shit baggage stuff, and showing up late. Our battery's like right there. Like I started pushing the limits. I like at first, man, I was showing up like at 6:10. 6:05, 06:05, 06:10, like showing up on time and stuff. Then got to like 06:20, 06:25, run up to probation. So I was like, man. And then like there was rumors going around, like like after a field problem, like middle of the summer, like, hey, we're gonna move out to this other place, like in the middle of nowhere, like pass out in the ranges. So like y'all better start planning ahead and all this other stuff. And then like we moved.
Yep.
And that was just oh man, like our barracks are way across post.
Yep. Yeah, because
like, I remember like
I remember that we had the battery used to be on main post, and then we moved all the way the fuck out there by the airfield. And top of that fucking hill by the ranges, so did you start being a little, who was your roommate?
Who was my roommate? I didn't have one for the longest, man. Like I moved because I lived like close to like down like more towards like first brigade down that area.
Okay.
So like whenever I moved, or no, was it third brigade? Third brigade. Yeah, I was down by third brigade. So when I moved down to the barracks where everyone else is at, like before we deployed and stuff, like I had no roommates. So I was like, hey man, like I started hanging out with like Horta and all these other guys, met like Lopez, all these other dudes that, started hanging with them. And then like, and that like that kind of like sucked, man, because like having to get up like at 5:30, like 5:20 in the morning just to drive across posts and make it, like we already knew, man, if it was 5:40, like we was not gonna make formation.
Right. Shit. So tell me, we started, so you remember that field problem where it snowed all over us in fucking during RTEP. It was like in March of 2011. March 2011. Just fucking
first night of RTEP, man. I remember like we jumped out the back of the Humvees, man. We like trying to open up the back and couldn't open up the back. And I was like, what the hell? And we like peeked out and like the whole net was just like buried in snow.
Fucking hey, dude. I fucking hated that fucking month.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were out for 2 weeks doing RTEP and shit. And how many deployments did you do with us?
I did one with, I think I did one with you. I don't know if you didn't go on 2014 because he was already getting ready to get out.
Yeah, I was getting ready on my way out. Yeah.
Then I did 3 total. Well, I did 2 with 277 and one with 361.
Okay, 36. Okay, so 277. The first one you did, when was your first deployment? In 2012?
2012, yeah. Whenever we all like headed out to Torkham Gate.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you were at the Torkham Gate then. See, because I got stuck in Jaff and then I was in Gamberry. So
yeah, because I think because I think you came to us like a hat like you, and then I think Sergeant Christian.
Yeah.
And then so some other people kind of like met up with us in Gamberry, like halfway to like 9, like I would say like a third of deployment, right?
Well, I was there. I got there and get to Gamberry in.
I want to say it was like, yeah, it was June. It was June because we was like, it was almost halfway through the deployment.
Right.
Whenever we took over our artillery mission, artillery school mission. I remember everyone like showing up and stuff, and like, hey, we're switching up things, and like this is gonna be your new chief.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Who did you fall under?
I was under Stotler.
Fucking Stotler.
Yeah, I mean, he taught me quite a bit. Like honestly, like whenever I was there, which is awesome. Like he was like, hey man, like when you get back, like you're gonna be E4, blah blah blah. You're already E4 now. You're gonna be E4 promote when you get back. which I didn't believe it. Like I remember when we got back, like I had just got my P stats like right before the ball. Shit. So I was like, yeah, man. Like I was like ecstatic. Like, holy shit, like E4 promotal, like kind of quick. But yeah, man, that deployment was pretty awesome because like looking back on it now, like I didn't like we did a lot of stuff, like especially in Torcom, but like setting up like a lot of people don't know like our battery alone set up like the first school of artillery for these like Afghans. Like they never got taught that shit. And I was like, man, like I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but
dude, I mean, it was cool. They gave us like it was me, Medina, Jewel, and Christian. And the E6 or what the fuck they call the Sixers. What the fuck, but it was cool because they give us like I think a week or two to learn the D30. And then after learning that shit, we got to go train those fucking monkeys and teach them, you know. And I remember I had Schnabel in White, I think his name was little kid. And dude, I think it was awesome. We had a great time out there teaching those motherfuckers. And then coming back, you know, I think it set y'all up as well because you guys got to learn how to fucking teach, you know, other motherfuckers how to fucking do artillery, you know, because artillery is artillery at the end of the day. Yeah. So when we got back, who did you fall under then?
I was under Sergeant Enoch for like a little bit, and then that kind of like that situation. Yeah. So like I was underneath him, and who the hell else I go to after it? Because I'm trying to think. Sergeant Enoch, and then I think with Sergeant Enoch I went to Sergeant Mendenhall.
Orale, okay, old Mendenballs.
Yeah, and then I had my situation, you know, with all that stuff, and then blah blah. Came back, did all that, and I was in Mendenhall for a minute, man. Like Casey, he was awesome. He was my our ATC when I first got to Fort Carson, so I kind of like was familiar with him. Right, and that's where he just made E6 and stuff. So like it was pretty awesome. Went to NTC again. Like I remember we went to GRTC for our deployment, and that place, like I thought that was hell. And then we went to them. They was like, "Hey man, you not there to go NTC?" And I was like, "Are we gonna fly there?" No, chief. We get on the bus. Right. That shit sucked. Like man, I'm middle of nowhere. I was like, man, I remember going out to the box and we drove. It was like a good almost like hour and 30 minutes to where our destination was.
Fuck, I hate it. I think when I think of JRTC and I think of NTC, JRTC was a lot more tolerable than NTC. Because NTC out in Fort Irwin, middle of fucking nowhere.
No shade, windy as shit.
Dude, I mean, when you live out there, you live out there in the shit. You know, in JRTC, I mean, it was shitty, but it wasn't that shitty. Like, it was all right. But I don't know, dude. So fucking, go ahead.
Oh, you're good, man. Good.
No, I was gonna say, so do you believe that like the training that you got in JRTC or an NTC, did that prep you for your deployments or did it train you?
I would probably say the first one, like in JRTC, so we ended up doing maneuver. We did maneuvers down there, so we ended up doing maneuver anyways, you know, like especially working with along with the battalion, going out because I know like you guys all went out to the field. And like y'all came back and like these motherfuckers staying on the fucking Fob Warrior getting showers every night and shit. like I mean, I didn't mind it, but the only thing sucked was like being QRF like all night long, man. Like having to run to the gate during the box and go fucking lock down the gate or the ECP, making sure these motherfuckers ain't running in and shit. And
see, I didn't go to NTC with y'all. Y'all took buses to NTC, right?
Yeah.
I was going to go out. So now, on your second deployment, where did y'all end up going to?
We didn't know where it was going at first. Okay. So like Smoke Hansen, we got put in his platoon, and they were like, yeah, like we don't know where you guys are going maneuver, you guys are going artillery, like we're trying to figure it out. Right. And then like we went to NTC with like, oh, you guys are gonna be QRF on NTC. We got back. And immediately we went on, like, I remember we got back, it was like a week or two for Thanksgiving, and Smoke's like, I don't know what we're doing, guys. I just know we're first ones in the chute to leave with everyone.
Damn.
He's like, I promise you guys, when you guys are back for Thanksgiving break, he's like, I have an answer for you guys. So we come back that Tuesday, he's like, hey guys, all right, guess where we're going? I was like, I don't fucking know, like Egypt. I don't, you know, it was all right. Like, you know, it was all being smart asses because it was all kind of close and stuff, you know, like Sergeant Levinsky and all everyone. He's like, all right, guys. Oh yeah, that dude is awesome, man. Like I was like legitimately like one of my, besides like him and Mendenhall, I'd probably say like they're a tie for like one of my two favorite Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that dude was awesome. It was pretty solid. So like he's like Mendenhall is he's getting med boarded. So he's like, he ain't coming with us. So we're gonna have to split up his section. We're gonna make like 2 super sections. And like then it came down to like, hey, we're only taking one group.
Right.
And we're only taking one section. I guess we was like, we're gonna go to spin boldak and we're gonna do artillery. I said, I always just do maneuvers. Like now we're doing artillery. So we had to go section cert and we didn't do table 12. We just did straight up table fucking 5 and 6.
Now, but they switched you from the 119 to the 777 at that time, right?
You know, that was like during the summer. Like that was like so like when I came back in July, I think that July I came back, and then they were like, hey, like we ain't artillery anymore. We're in maneuver. So I was like, oh shit, well, I mean that should be easy. Then go to artillery, and then I remember like, so here's the most craziest shit ever. Like I remember like was getting ready, like went on block leaves. We came back, and then as soon as we came back, Smoke's like, all right, hey man, a couple of you guys are leaving out early on with Torch. You know, he's like, and you're gonna fly in the plane over and see what C7 on the C-17 with the connexes and stuff. So I was like Lauji and then Geyser. I don't know if you remember those guys.
Yep.
So they end up going, and then we end up leaving. It's like, hey, Smoke, when we're leaving, it's like anywhere between the first week and the second week of February. He's like, I'll know more like at the end of the week. I remember going to his office, hey, Smoke, when we're leaving, it's my birthday. Let's go. Yeah. Hey, Smoke, when we're leaving, it's like February 7th. I was like, you're shitting me. He's like, yeah, we're leaving February 7th. I was like, you're bullshitting. He's like, you said I got a day off that day. It's my birthday. He's like, yeah, get the day off. He's like, get the day off, bring your ass in and go deploy. I was like, you bullshitting me, man. He's like, no. He's like, bro. He's like, dead ass. He's like, here. He's like, we'll log on Mob Cop and check out your orders right now. Dead ass February 7th. I was like, no fucking way we're deploying on my birthday. I was like, God damn, it sucks. But yeah, like we got over there, and then like as soon as we got there, like we was like. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are gonna be shooting over here. I mean, you go look, it's just an open field. There ain't no chill shack, ain't no bunkers for all these rounds. So they ended up getting us like some like those little like half whatever, like like the fucking shallow of a bunker, like to make your bunkers and stuff.
Yeah.
They just gave us those. It was just like the smoke canceling layout of how they were supposed to be. We made a gun line, made our own little gun line, our own little pit. I mean,
yeah.
Made ring of fire, all that stuff. So we was shooting from right there, but like still like, we was trying to fortify. It was like, and then they're like halfway through, they're like, hey man, we're tearing down this whole fucking place. Like we're going from north to south, working our way down, and we're tearing it down.
Damn.
And since you guys are artillery, you guys don't really have a job here, because we'll only go hot in a gun for like maybe like 2-3 days at a time.
Okay.
And within those after those 2-3 days, or within those, that time when we weren't set up to shoot or whatever, was doing everything and anything, was was like driving around our Allen TV, going to pick up. We had a shitty ass Allen TV, by the way. Like you have to pull over and like let the air brakes fucking warm up with that shit.
God,
all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So like, I mean, it ran, but we had to tow our own howitzer down there, park it, because it wasn't like a fortified position, so we couldn't just chill down there,
Right,
so,
right.
So like we had to pull our rounds out, take them to the AHA, pull them out every single, like this was a process. So like we're like, it was like 2 hours before we needed to go hot.
Yeah.
Be laid on their azimuth and everything and whatever. Like we had to be like 2 hours prior to that. So we had to pull out all our rounds, our special munitions, all the way down to straight up, HE. Yeah, and we had like 4 X-Cals. Mind is, we had to carry 4. I mean, we got strong, man. After a while, I was picking up X-Cal myself. I was like, that shit's like, whatever.
Y'all were doing some real artillery shit then.
Yeah, that shit sucked, man. Like I ain't gonna lie. And then on top of that, like like we was getting our asses kicked, like being like basically like the chauffeurs and shit. I remember one time I was a driver, so like it was like, you want to be the driver? You want to be whatever AG or whatever? I was like, oh fuck, I'll be the driver, man. That shit's like I get sit in AC and drive around. Nah, man, I was like doing all kinds of shit. I was getting woken up like, hey man, you need to go down to a flight line, go pick up these VIPs, throw their bags in.
Oh my god,
drive down to talk. And I was like. So yeah, man, like it was like tear down detail too. So like was tearing shit down as we was doing all this shit. And I was like, it was only there for 6 months, but like for like that 5 months we was there, that shit was long as fuck. I was like, I would probably take like literally like 4 rotations at JRTC to fucking have that shit.
Dude, it was like, I remember like when we were in fucking Gamberry, when we were done with our bullshit, all we had fucking Sergeant Major like, all right, well, time to go put up some fucking C-wire, time to go put up some posts. God damn, can we get a fucking break here, man?
Yeah, I was like, come on now, Shawshank Redemption, man. Come on, dude, like, can we get a break? Like, I remember putting up all that triple strand sea wire because that dude didn't trust the Afghans. I'm like, dude, we're inside of a fob of fob.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we're our own fob within a fob, big ass fob.
And dude, not only that, and then fucking having to go the sandbagging. And And I mean, it got to the point where even the commanders were the BC and Amaral were out there fucking, filling sandbags with us.
Yeah, like from the BC all the way down to like the smallest private. I think like only person that stayed in the talk was Sergeant Harold that answered the phones and shit.
Dude,
and, like, everyone from the XO, everyone else went down there.
And that's what's crazy though. Like to me, that was what defined leadership too, though, man. If you think about it,
it was down there. Like I remember, like one day, like at like 7 a.m. For like 3 hours shoveling sandbags. Like I was like, man, are we the only ones having to do like getting punished for this shit? Like,
and it seemed like that fucking mountain never ended. Like no matter how much it just kept on fucking getting more and more the next day, dude. Like so when you made your cross, when you crossed over from enlisted to NCO, did you notice, or as your time was in the military, did you notice a difference in the way NCOs were to when you were a soldier to when you became an NCO?
Yeah, it was immediately there. Like I remember I got busted down from E4 promoter to private, made my way back up to E5.
I remember.
But like I was already like from E4 promoter at that time, like I was already getting like groomed, like Sergeant Mendenhall, and I'm like, hey man, you're gonna have friends, you gotta start separating yourself from your friends to whatever and all that stuff. So like I mean, I had we went to Fort Knox. You had gotten out before that, right? I think in 2015.
Yeah, I left in 2015.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he's already gone. We went to Knox, and then they're like, "Hey man, like we're getting ready to deploy, and stuff, and like who wants to volunteer for deployment?" So like, hey, me and then like me and Loudie and Pearson was only ones.
Oh shit.
And like yeah, so like we had volunteered for it, but like it was awesome, man. Like that probably was I would probably say like that was besides my first one, that was probably one of my best points I ever had. It was my third and final one.
Okay.
Because man, like it was there was so much like 361 was kind of pretty like I'd say they were squared away. Like for being some cavalry scouts, like they're squared away. But yeah, like when I made my E5 down there in Afghanistan, like it was like immediately like boom, like I don't know if you know Smoke or Sergeant Figueroa.
Yep.
Hector. Yeah, like he immediately told me like, hey man, like start separating yourself. He's like, we're all gonna move you out of your barracks room with these soldiers and put you in a NCO room with two other NCOs. And that was like, the transition like from, like hang out with these dudes every day to whatever. Like you can see it in your buddy's faces, like, hey man, they can't really like, call you like, by your last day, I have to call you sergeant, blah, blah,
right.
Blah. And like at the transition, like for me, it wasn't that hard because like we all trust each other. So like everyone's already respectful as it was. So like, yeah, it wasn't too hard. But yeah, I noticed a big difference between that NCO to soldier, connection. So like it was more, more professional, keep it simple, stupid, and then everyone be all right.
It's a trip because I know like there's certain people that I would fuck around with and certain people I wouldn't fuck around with. And the way I always thought of it is like, if I fuck with you is because, talk shit to you is because I like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I just treat you as a regular soldier because I don't fucking trust you, and I know there's a line that I'm not gonna fucking cross. You know what I mean? And like with you and Schnabs, I remember one night we got fucked up in my garage.
Yeah,
man, that Maker's Mark fucked us up. Ooh,
that shit was funny because like I remember Schnabel just hit me up out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey, what you doing tonight?" I was like, "Nothing." He's like, "Want to go to Sergeant Lopez's house?" I was like, "Sure, man. Where's that?" He's like, "It's on post." And then I saw Sergeant Christian there and Sergeant Cabrales. And I was like, yeah, shit. I mean, it was fun and shit. Like, I didn't mind it, like, because I already like played softball with Sergeant Cabrales and shit. Like that shit. I mean, on a weekend, so you already know, like, was getting sauced up.
Oh
like,
yeah,
dude. And stuff.
And I mean, I wish we had more soldiers like y'all. Like I said, I mean, there was a newer generation of soldiers that were coming in, and you guys were part of that. But like I always say, there's always those soldiers that stand out. You, Schnabel made fucking Sergeant First Class now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's airborne, all that stuff, man. Like I was surprised because like I thought he was gonna get out, after the first deployment. And then he went to, I think he went to Drum or somewhere, and I thought he was gonna get out. Like I thought that was it for him.
That's what I thought too. And I mean, dude, like, I mean, it's crazy. Like you see that, to me, I feel like awesome seeing that, dude. Like, damn, that motherfucker made Sergeant first class. And you're right, he was gonna get out. He wanted to get the fuck out.
He made E5, and he's like, "This is it for me, man." I was like, "Man, dude, like honestly, like stay in, like, dude, like you're doing a great job. Like, you know, you're gonna be a good leader. You know, just stick it out, dude." And he was a good. I mean, he was a good leader. I mean, yeah, like granted, like some people used to like get in his ass and shit, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, like he still like looked out to his soldiers.
Yep.
And that was one thing too I learned. Like soldiers always come first, regardless, you know, no matter what the mission is, no matter what. Like you could be out in the middle of fucking nowhere, like 4 MREs left, there's 5 of you. Soldiers gotta eat first.
Goddamn right.
So, you know, yeah. So I was like, hey man, like, you know, Joes come first, regardless. I was always told, take care of your Joes, and everything goes smooth for you. Like they'll do everything for you. Like they'll handle, you know, whatever, everything come down, like you'll have a good section.
Dude, when you got into NCO ranks, did you notice if there were any NCOs that were just looking out for themselves, that only cared about themselves, or were there actually NCOs that still fucking put their Joes first?
There was like a couple of them. Like I could honestly like say, like, you know, like especially like when it came to like the infantry world.
Yeah.
Like I saw a couple guys like that, you know, like you know, kind of put themselves first and stuff, especially when it came to like awards and whatnot. Like, you know, I used to get me be like, you know, like the whole why like, you know, this PL straight butter bar has been in the army less than a year, getting a bronze star over like this soldier that's doing more work than him. All this he was doing is going to print out fucking con ops and shit like that. And I'm like, and the system ain't that hard. I'm like, what's the difference? I asked that question. I actually asked Smoke Fig. I was like, hey, why is he getting a bronze star? And he's like, that's just, you know, he was straight up honest. He's like, it's the deployment thing, man. I was like, yeah, see,
dude, it's funny you mentioned that. One of my homeboys, fucking Frank Felice, he's been on the gun line a few times. You know, and he used to be an FDC chief, and he was my master gunner. But anyways, on Facebook, he put on there, there was a meme that he put on about there's a PFC, you know, fucks around, gets shot, you know, and he gets a fucking RCOM. And there's an E7 or above that shows up in his boots, bronze star automatically. And I was going to save this topic for next week because I'm going to talk about this again. I've talked about it many a times on here, but I can't stand the fact that you got a ground pounding motherfucking E1 through E4 out there in this shit, hustling his ass off. And we tell him, attaboy, there's your RCOM.
Here's RCOM for your troubles.
But you got an S1 motherfucker that never stepped out the goddamn wire. You know, the closest they come to firing the closest they come to fucking firing their weapon is at the goddamn range or to zero their shit again. But they get a fucking a bronze star. So it's like, you know what? Fuck y'all. You know, I know what I deserved. You know, I know what I earned. You know, everything I got, I earned it. You know, there was one time I got fucked over out of my bronze star that I should have gotten back in 2010. But it's okay. You know, they gave me my RCOM. I'll take it. That's fine. But those that were with me, they know I did the job that deserved the award that they were supposed to give me. But anyways, fuck all that bullshit, man.
Yeah. I look at it as like just more shit I gotta buy to put on my uniform.
Facts.
and I'm like, man, like I didn't mind, like I got a nice little stack and stuff, but I was like, you know what, man, like this shit's getting ridiculous because like you get another award, like some shit you didn't ever had, and like fuck, I got another rack, I gotta put all this shit back on, hopefully. And then when you start pulling out the ribbons, like some of them tear, and you're like, fuck. So
you just got to go buy the whole new stack again.
Buy the whole new set, man.
Bro, so let's fast forward a little bit. You transitioned out. You know, we don't have to talk about what led to that, but you know, you end up getting out of the military. Any struggles that you faced coming back to the civilian sector after your 9-10 years of military service?
Well, for one, I didn't think I was gonna make E6 to where I made it at. Like honestly, I never thought, like, you know, come looking back, like before I got out, like, man, I was like, I had like those, you know, those first few weeks I was getting ready to transition out. Like I got my clearing papers, and they're like, man, I was like, I started looking back at everything, all the memories and stuff. I remember I sit in my garage and just, you know, bullshit. My uncle, he was in for like, I want to say 15, 16 years, but he got medically retired. Okay. And he was infantry. He was actually at Fort Carson with me. He was there for like a while, but he was like airborne and all stuff. And I was just sitting there bullshitting with him. And then me and him were like kind of like talking. I was like, you know, I was like, man, thinking back on that, man, I never thought I'd make it this far. You know, honestly thought like, after I had my first little incident, like that was it. I thought, world's over. But
Right.
the main thing I like always like, even now, like transitioning out, like I know like it was kind of like I didn't know what I was gonna do. So like I immediately started like hitting people up like, hey man, like resources, networking, like,
Yeah.
hey man, like I got my apartment like as soon like a month after I got out, through the VA and whatnot.
Okay.
And then like I just networked, man. Like I knew people that got out before me, and I just asked questions. But it was difficult, man. Like, that last day when you sign out, or or that last day whenever you get your clearing paperwork, or
Yeah.
you get your last stamp, or like to make your copy, give you your little award or whatever it is, your discharge paperwork, your D214,
Mm-hmm.
deuces, hang out, and you're like, man, like I didn't know what to do that day. Like
Yeah,
my uncle's like,
right.
you want to get my uncle like, want to smoke some pot? I was like, no, I don't want to get high. But I did go like that next day. I did go that we got drunk that night. I did go to a weed farm in Oklahoma though. I'll tell you that shit was fucking cool. But yeah, I went down there and stuff. But like it was like the first month was like kind of difficult, just like trying to figure out like, hey, job wise, I tried to do unemployment. That took forever. And
Right.
then like I was just like doing like just chilling at home, man, chilling in my apartment. Like I had like the place I was getting that was helping out with like all my bills and stuff and all that. And I was just like the biggest thing like I took away from all that, man, just being fucking flexible and resilient, man. Like anything like comes your way. Like I learned that from like long and before in the army, man. Just being resilient as all hell. Like that's the biggest thing. Like that's the biggest trait you could take from the military, just resiliency, man.
Dude, and you mentioned that, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like, I wanted to know what do you think that you learned in the military that you didn't know before that you now use in the civilian sector, and what are you doing in the civilian sector now?
The biggest takeaway is just kind of like that whole disciplinary thing, man. Like I get like people screw up, like, but then like, in the army, like, yeah, there's days you're late, there's days like stuff doesn't go your way, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, like outside looking in, we think that's bad, but like, well, when it's going on for us, you think that's bad, but outside looking in, like civilians, like, man, these guys are fucking, tight net, like everything's to the T. In all reality, like, you barely fuck up like on a salute or whatever, doing salute guns and shit, and someone barely fucks up. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, the show goes on. In all reality, like, man, we fucked up. Like was a second late,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just being disciplined, like, and then like just keeping things to the T, man. Like I know, like when it comes to like paperwork, man, like I'm on like when I'm like job wise and stuff, and I'm like boom, boom, applications, everything's done. But yeah, just being disciplinary, being flexible, and just getting things done in a timely manner. Like that's like the biggest things I took away and what I do now. Right now, I'm starting a job on Monday. Be doing like work for his tribal program, and I'm currently still on this. I know me and you talked before. I'm on his veterans committee. I'm the president of it on my reservation.
Right.
And that's like, that's a big thing, like helping veterans out. Like I didn't think I was gonna do that, but like it's right now we're kind of slow, but like we're gonna pick it back up, and we're gonna like start getting out there for veterans more and getting all the resources we can.
With that said, I saw you did a powwow for veterans, right?
Yeah,
dude,
man,
I mean,
next year we're doing it again in June. I always encourage people, man, if you come up, man, like, or if you want a t-shirt, let me know. I know I told a couple people I'll give them some t-shirts, man, but like, man, we had so much veterans roll through. Like we had almost 500 t-shirts that we ended up giving away to 500 veterans that came to our powwow.
So is it like, open to the public, or is it just for the tribal?
No, it's open to public, man. We had people come all over from like Nebraska. We had a motorcycle group that our veterans come from like New York. We had people come from Arizona. Like it's open to anyone, man. Like we have a hotel, casino, like you can stay there.
Okay.
All this other stuff. Like even if it's for a day, like I saw people come experience all that, man. We'll put you in a grand entry. You do all that stuff. I mean, it's not really like a dog and pony show, it's more of experience, and meet other veterans, and we had like a little area for veterans closed off. So like we had like, veterans have their own little section.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, because I saw some of I saw you posted up videos as well. And I didn't know it was open to everyone, or else, dude, we could have plugged it on here. Not that I have a big crowd, but I mean, word of mouth gets around, you know what I mean? I think it's fucking awesome, especially, you want to get the awareness for the reservation, and hopefully start getting more awareness to lift the people up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's more of like, getting everyone to come together, man, regardless of what area you served in. Like me, I don't care if you served in Vietnam, whatever, all this other, all, you know, you was in the first surge, whatever,
Right.
Iraq, like it ain't no pissing contest, man. Everyone's a veteran at the
Exactly.
end of the day. Like you did your time, man. Everyone has their fun stories, and it's good just know people, you know, because at the end of the day, like I know like most of my, I still talk to a lot of people, you know, in the military. Like I know I talked to you off and on.
Mhm.
Talked to Sergeant Fig, I talked to Pollard, I talked to Veal. Me and Veal are real close. Like I talk to him every day. There's a few other people I talk to. There's like a lot of people I talk to like on the daily, and there's people that has to ask me questions from time to time.
Okay.
Like my little cousin, like, you know, she asked me stuff about like counselings and, you know, stuff like that. Like, I mean, just random stuff like that, you know, like, hey man, like, you know, like now, like most of the guys that are under me, like are E6s, like gunnies and shit. And I'm like, man, that's
Right.
pretty cool.
Dude, I mean, it's awesome when you see somebody that you help mentor, or that you were like, you know, sometimes you don't even realize that you made a significant fucking impact on them. Like, you know, there were some times, there's been times where I've like hit lows, you know, I
Yeah.
get depressed and shit like that. And I'll put something on the Facebook or whatnot. I learned not to do that anymore, but I used to. And like I would have some of my old Joes hit me up and be like, "Hey, Chief, you know, believe it or not, you did make an impact, or you know, thanks for being a leader." And it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. You know, I know I wasn't the best fucking NCO, but I did try my best to be a good NCO, the best I could be. You
I
know,
mean,
so it is what it
at the end of the
is.
day, man, that's all you could do, man. Just do your best. Like, I mean, whether or not, like, you know, like if they ain't picking up what you're putting down, then you have to come from different approaches. I mean, it's always good to like it's not just, it's always good to be like, you know, more than a one trick pony, you know, like in
Yeah.
the military. Like it's always good to know your shit and like try to like me, I'm like, I don't know how you did it, but like I know like what I learned was like me, I never yell at soldiers. I mean, if I yell at you, then there's something fucking really seriously wrong there. Like me, I you know, there's countless times I could just talk to a guy sternly, get my point across, and then they'll get it down, like, you know, as opposed to me fucking screaming at them and getting in their face. Like, I mean, it's kind of like, what's crazy is like it reminds me of like, you know, talking to a preschooler, but straight up because like motherfuckers shut the fuck down whenever you start yelling at them, and they'll be standing there like, you know, like you hear what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, and they're like, you didn't hear it, you didn't understand a word I said,
Right.
and they're like, oh, you know.
The
But
only time that I would, I mean, I just asked, look, man, here's the way I like to do things. Do what I fucking tell you to do. We have no issues. You know what I mean? Because that's the way I was brought up. Do what the fuck I tell you to do. We got no issues. You know what I'm saying? Now, so that's what I would do. The only times that I would yell, which is a lot, was when motherfuckers did not listen, bro. And that shit would piss me the fuck off. Because I it's like when I talk to my kids. I say it in a normal tone. Hey, this needs to get done. Let's make it happen. All right, hey, why the fuck aren't we doing this shit?
There's levels to that.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Like I get pissed the fuck off. And I think the one time I blew up was during the fucking training that we were doing with the fucking 240, where we did the whole fucking battalion. And I was just getting pissed the fuck off because I don't know how many times I told these motherfuckers, open the fucking feed tray, pull back, you know, clear it, all this fucking load fire, clear the 240 Bravo. And motherfuckers were not listening. It pissed me the fuck off, and I would just blow up. Another one that I mean blow up on them a lot was fucking Sergeant Will. Rest his soul, Sergeant Will. Jesus fucking Christ. But I think it's because he got pissed off at me because I put Schnabel on the gunner site over Sergeant Will. You know what I mean? So he was just at that fuck it, I don't give a fuck mode. So, you know, rest your soul, Sergeant Will, but goddamn, you gave me some issues. But yeah, dude. So it would make me a yeller at that time. You know what I mean? I was just a big cusser as well. Because to me, fuck is like a comma.
Yeah, me like I have to like put on my professional voice sometimes when I'm talking to certain people and stuff. And
yeah,
like it's in my vocabulary too. Like I just, like when my son's around or my daughter, I have to like tell myself like, oh, like bite my tongue and like, you know, try to cuss. It's engraved in our vocabularies, man.
Dude, it is. It really, really is. Dude, we only got about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll give it another 10. The kids can wait outside. So overall, your experience in the military and the civilian sector, how do you combine it? Like, have you had any other struggles that you've been able to overcome that the military helped you, or any struggles that the military put on you that you've had to overcome?
I'll probably say like once I got out, like my discharge, that was it, man. Like there was the questions do arise, like, hey, why'd you get out? I mean, when it comes to employers, like some employers ask us, some of them don't. They just want B 214, see the honorable discharge and leave me alone. but like I've been working with Highway Patrol, and like that got me turned. Like my last little incident, like whatever happened, that got me out. Like that was a big issue. Like they called me yesterday, and like, which was shitty.
Right.
It was like, hey man, due to your last incident, man, you got to wait to apply again. We're not telling you not to apply, but don't be discouraged. We'll give you, you got 8 to 9 months till this time frame's up, but apply again. We'll want you here. Like, like I was literally like 4 weeks away to do my PT test in the state capitol here. And I was like been running and shit, like working my ass off, doing all kind of like, push-ups, sit-ups. Like I'm like doing everything, like running. And
let me pump the brakes a little bit on this one. Cause you's a big motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, Eagle Bull is Native American or Indian, American Indian, whatever y'all want to call it. This motherfucker's about 6'2", about 250.
About 275 now, but
God damn. But this motherfucker could run. I remember one thing was you could run. It ain't like, it ain't like you were a slow poke behind the fucking in the back. You know what I'm saying? You weren't back there with me, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Like, I mean,
you were pretty much a good PT stud.
Like as I got in the military, like as I got like up in ranks, like I went from loading in the front. I'm like, I'm gonna get the fucking stragglers, but like it's my time to fucking be in the back, dude. Like I don't care. Like I could run, it's whatever. Like I ain't gonna fucking I am be out there pushing my ass anymore, because at a certain point, man, in your career, like your body's already beat down and shit. You gotta start taking care of yourself.
Hey, bro, that's when rank has its privileges comes in.
I got straggler control. But then, like, I mean, I got put in charge of like remedial and shit like that when I was in like Germany with my last unit, and I was like, oh man, like,
we're in Germany.
Yeah, so like when I got to Fort Riley 3 weeks after I got there, like I was already moved in my house. They're like, hey man, you're going to Germany. I was like, because I don't know, man, like I don't know what the hell's in the water in Riley, dude, but like I swear to God, dude, everyone E6 and above always fucking up. Like literally, like I'm one of them, but like when I went to Germany, dude, there was so like my first in brief was like when I got on the plane to go to Germany, I was with a major, a captain, a lieutenant, a E7, and another E6. And we was going over to replace leadership positions.
Okay.
Like they straight, like that was straight up honesty. Like, hey man, you're gonna replace the E7, you're gonna replace the E6, you're replacing this person, because they done fucked up.
Wow.
And that was within my brigade, and I was like, holy fuck, like I know that major went took over an S3 job for someone that fucked up. So that's how I was like, man, like like I don't know what the fuck's going on here, all this stuff. But yeah, man, like the employer stuff, it's kind of like it does help, especially being military, because it's always you always got to look at the fine print, or it's always in yellow, like red wording, veterans preference, and they're like, like it does help out. It does have its perks being a veteran and stuff and whatnot. And like there's struggles and stuff. Like I mean, like I doubt with like transitioning out, like like trying to figure out like civilian life to military life. Like I just been kind of like, doing stuff leisurely. Like I don't hang around huge crowd. I do go concerts every now and then and whatever sporting events, but like I don't hang around big crowds. I hang out like the same 5 people.
Right.
I ain't like out there socializing too big, all this other stuff. And like, I mean, I'm starting a job on Monday. Like I'm still working to be a police officer, which is like, after this highway patrol thing, like last night, like someone called me. They're like, hey man, I'm from the sheriff's department here in, Rapid City, South Dakota, where you're at. Would you mind like coming in for an interview? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I got a reference email from Highway Patrol. And they would like you to, like you consider us. So I was like, yeah, man. Like, I mean, what's your policy on all this? And they're like, oh yeah, man, just give us a call.
Nice,
so,
dude.
Yeah. So like, if another door closes, another door opens. Exactly,
dude. Sometimes things happen for a reason, and you've had some struggles, in the past. I remember there was a family incident that happened where, you lost some loved ones and whatnot, and that fucks with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's all like, like whenever I was doing my disability claim, like I was the main thing with like, I had to go talk to the psychologist, and that was like a good 3-hour talk.
Yeah.
And he was just like, everything and anything. I was like, dude, like, I don't like talking about most of this shit, man. Like, I don't even like being in an enclosed room with someone by myself, like,
yep.
Like, especially a small ass room like this, me having to tell a complete stranger my feelings and shit, and how I do it like everyday life. And like, dude, like, shit ain't that easy, man. Like a lot of people.
Have you, so are you receiving any kind of a VA at all, or any VA?
Yeah, so like I'm at 80%. like 10% for my ankles and 70% for like PTSD with alcohol issues. So I've been kind of off the bottle quite a bit just because like, I mean, I don't know what triggers my PTSD or whatever, but like, I don't even want to find out. Like,
I'll tell you what, man. I've been off now for over 3 years. I've been sober. I'm happy I've been sober, man. And it's a life changer. It's a big commitment.
But it's definitely one of them things like, I mean, everyone's done it in the military. It's like, you know, like it's I think it's kind of like one of those things like it's, you know, it happens, you know, everyone, and like it's just the life stressors in the military, man. Like you come home off work. I know people used to get off work and immediately you be going to class 6 on a Friday or some shit.
You know, but and it's okay. Not that there's anything wrong with it. If you're a good drinker, handle it. Me, I'm just a shitty alcoholic, bro. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a shitty drunk. You know what I mean? So I had to give it up, bro.
Yeah. So like I go out and I drink. I go watch football games and stuff. I lift everywhere I fucking go if I need to. Like I ain't out there doing no crazy shit, all this other stuff. And yeah, so like, you know, I definitely like have honed it down to the point where like when I first got out, man, like well, actually before I got out, dude, like with my whole, like, I was depressed, dude. I was like, I'm getting out of the military. I was drinking every single fucking day. Like, and COVID happened, so they didn't give a shit. All I gotta do is wake up in the morning and send a text. So I was like, man, like, you know, like I was like in a bad spot there for a minute. And then when I got out, like I just immediately, like I was sober for like 3 months when I got out. Didn't touch alcohol or nothing. And then like I started drinking again. I was like, all right, you know what, like I need to fucking ground myself. And then like what really helped me the most, I think, was keeping my son over summer and like, you know, realize. And then I got to meet my daughter. I have a daughter. She's just turned 1 in August. So my son turns 10 here in like 3 days, man.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, man, I was like, I don't look old. I feel old, but like, holy shit, I'm getting old, man.
Yeah,
like,
bro. Dude.
Like, I'm like, you know, kids are getting older and shit.
Well, the thing is that, I mean, the military ages you. It's not about the fucking number. It's about the life that you've lived in that age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Like you could be either age fine wine or like, you know, a shitty beer that just happened to sit there for a long time.
Be some stank beer.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, like they always say, like you always get 10 years added on to your life, regardless of when you get out, man. And it's true. Like, like I've been hit like this highway patrol thing, and man, like for the last 2 months since I found out I was like, you know, gonna be able to, you know, be a highway patrolman. Like I've been getting my ass in shape, hitting the gym, running more. Like I think the other day, like I ran like 2 miles in like 15 something minutes, man. I haven't done that in a minute, and I was like, you know,
go ahead and keep that shit.
I was like, I'm just trying to be in shape. So I was like, man, it's a struggle. There's struggles out there,
bro. I'm in shape. Round is still a motherfucking shape. So, but hey, brother, I hate to cut this early. It's 2:43 p.m. Any words of wisdom that you would give those that are still in on their way out, or anybody that's, you know, thinking about coming in?
For the people getting out, man, start taking care of yourself now, getting everything handled, man, because when you get out, you start setting yourself up for success before you get out, man, because when you get out, it's a cold fucking world, regardless of what it is, man. Like, it's no matter what, that's just gonna either eat you up alive, or you're gonna fucking, it's either sink or swim. Yes. And for people thinking about going, man, like, good luck. Before I got out, man, it was a whole different world. Before, when I was just slowly getting out, and I was like, man, I don't like everyone. I said, oh yeah, this place gotten soft. I'm like, man, there's no more, you know, like when I used to be like NCOs, sharpen the shield, or sharpen the sword, you know, carry a sword, you know. But now the pen's more powerful than the sword. So like, for people going in, man, good luck with that, and just kind of like hold tough, man. Don't you know? Just be yourself, man. Should be right place, right time, right uniform. That's all I tell people.
There you go. Hey, that's the best way to succeed in the Army. Right place, right time, right uniform. That's it. And you'll fucking you'll climb up the ranks, and you'll be all right. But with that said, man, I do appreciate you being here with us, Eagle Bull. I need to bring you back on again so we can continue this chat up. And my apologies, but I do have to go pick up my kiddos. And then
that's cool, man.
But we will do a part 2 on this shit whenever you have time, and we can link this shit up again. Man, all right, brother?
I'm free anytime next week as well, man. Just let me know. You know, just hit me up, man. I know like your Friday podcast usually go a little bit longer than this. I see something those on YouTube. So yeah, man, anytime you want to throw me out, man, I'll hit you up. I'll give you my schedule next week. You want to do this next week or week after, man? Let me know. I'm down.
More than likely, we could probably do this again next week. Porque I don't have anybody for next Friday. And this week I got the kids. That's the only reason. Or else usually I would do it in the evening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I mean, we could do it next Friday evening, man. Like I ain't doing shit. Like the only thing I'm doing next Friday evening is getting shit ready for my kid's birthday on Saturday. So
perfect. That sounds like a plan because this evening I got to fucking carve pumpkins. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be festive, man. Holidays.
So sure. All right, Eagle Boy, you be easy, brother. And I'll shoot this shit out, and it'll be out either this evening or tomorrow morning at the latest. All right, bro?
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
Talk to you again, man.
For sure. Be easy, brother.
Yep, you too, man.
Later. Rounds complete. In the mission. Gun line out. Bye, motherfuckers. Right.